Next, module 4 continuation. Effect of communication in industry. Effective communication is a basic prerequisite for the attainment of organizational goals. No organization, no group can exist without communication, because the communication is the primary tool for the attainment of the organizational goals. Because the top level management has to communicate clearly with the middle level employees, and the middle level employees has to must have a clear communication with the lower level employees. Coordination of work is impossible, and the organization will collapse for the lack of communications. The third point, every act of communication influences the organization in some way or the other. It's a thread that holds the various interdepartment parts of an organization together, because communication will hold the different parts of the organizations. When communication is effective, it tends to encourage better performance and satisfaction. Then, what is meant by communication? Communication is a means whereby the employee can be properly motivated to execute company plans enthusiastically. Communication is also an intra-management problem. It is the force that binds the people of an organization together. Next point, good communication presupposes a two-way flow of information from the top down and from the bottom up. It can be compared to a mighty river on the banks of which business life is built. Last point, the communication plays a major role in dealing with the employer-employee relationship problems, employee productivity, in short, with all human relation matters. Next is the industrial disputes. You can see in nowadays there are a lot of industrial disputes are taking place. Disputes means difference or disagreement of strife over some issues between the parties. As regards industrial dispute, since its settlement process as per the legal provision contained in the Industrial Dispute Act 1940, this is a very important act, Industrial Dispute Act. Hence, it seems pertinent to study the concept of industrial dispute from a legalistic angle. The above definition is too hard, too broad, and includes difference even between the group of workmen and employers engaged in an employment. Disputes differ from discipline and grievance. While discipline and grievance focus on individuals, dispute focuses on collectivity of individuals. The following principles judge the nature of industrial dispute. Dispute must affect a large number of workmen. The second point, the dispute must be taken up either by industrial union or by a substantial number of workmen. Third one, the grievance turns from an individual complaint into a general complaint. There must be some nexus between the union and the dispute. According to the Section 2A of the Industrial Dispute Act 1947, a workman has the right to raise an industrial dispute with regard to termination, discharge, dismissal, or retirement of his or her service. That is, every workman or every employee has the right to raise an industrial dispute as per the Industrial Dispute Act 1947. Then there are forms of disputes. You can see strikes. One of the form is strikes. Strike is the most important form of dispute. A strike is a spontaneous and concentrated or concerted withdrawal of labor from production. The Industrial Dispute Act 1947 defined a strike as suspension of or cessation of work by a group of persons employed in any industry acting in combination or concerted refusal or a refusal under a common understanding of any number of persons who are or have been so employed to continue to work or accept employment. Strikes are again classified into primary strikes and secondary strikes. Primary strikes. These strikes are generally aimed against the employers with whom the dispute exists. They may include the form of stay away strike, stay in, sit down, pen down, or tools down, go slow, and work to rule, token, or protest strike, cat call strike, picketing, or boycott. These are the forms of primary strike. Then secondary strikes. The strikes are also called sympathetic strikes. In this form of strike, the pressure is applied not against the employer with whom the workman has a dispute, but against the third person who has trade relation with the employer. Then collective bargaining. Collective bargaining is the process of negotiating between management and workers represented by their representatives for determining mutually agreed terms and conditions of work which protect the interest of both workers and management. Thus, collective bargaining can simply be defined as an agreement collectively arrived at by the representatives of the employees and the employees. By collective bargaining, we mean good faith bargaining. Yes, objectives of collective bargaining to foster and maintain cordial and harmonious relationship between the employer, management, and the employees. To protect the interest of both employer and the employees. To keep the out to keep the outside, that is government interventions at a bay. To promote industrial democracy. The need for and importance of collective bargaining is felt due to the advantages it offers to an organization. It develops better understanding between the employer and the employees. It promotes industrial democracy. It benefits both employer and employees. It is adjustable to changing conditions. It facilitates the speedy implementation decisions arrived at collective negotiations.